So high school is pretty much some of the best years of our lives. For most of us, that is. I can tell you right now, high school was the best time of my life. Well, my junior and senior year were. My freshman and sophomore year, I was just kind of a boring kid, just come to school and go home and nothing else. But it's not always sunshine in there. I can tell you right now, high school can get kind of crazy and hard to survive. Some of these kids are ruthless savages and will eat you alive. Other kids will literally just kill you. And the teachers and staff can be worse. So if you're still in high school or going into high school, I got some tips for you guys on how to survive. And if you're out of high school already, well then watch the video anyways, because I could use the views. Tip number 1 on surviving. Become friends with the lunch ladies. You know how some other videos say get along with your teachers and all that cheesy stuff? Nah. Forget that. Teachers will fail or pass you regardless if you get along with them or not. Sure, some of them may give you a higher grade or something because they like you. But you know what's more important than grades? Food. Get stuck on a deserted island for a few days. I doubt your grades will be the first thing on your mind. If you're like me, you have to pay for your lunch. And these lunch ladies don't play no games. You either have the money or you ain't eating, fam. But see, if you become friends with the lunch ladies, they'll be over here giving you free food and giving you the hookup when you ain't got the money, know what I'm saying? I remember there's this one lunch lady in my school, I forgot her name, so we're just gonna call her Consuela. She barely spoke English, and I would try to talk to her. I actually tried talking to her in Spanish and try to keep a conversation with her, and we became pretty well acquainted. One day, I was buying lunch and I realized I didn't have enough money, so she whispered to me and said, "Come back and see me in 5 minutes, I'll give you some food." So I did, and this girl hooked me up. She gave me 2 cheeseburgers, a slice of pizza, and some tater tots. I couldn't even finish it all. Still, I never took advantage of her because they really can't do that too much. So my suggestion is don't take advantage of them, because then they'll see you as a freeloader and stop doing it. All I gotta say though is that a brother got hooked up, so be friends with them. And if you don't know Spanish and they only speak in Spanish, learn Spanish. Maybe pay a little more attention in Spanish class or something, because this is about free food. People don't mess around when it comes to free food. Tip number 2, be friends with the high school security. I know I'm just kind of piggybacking off the lunch lady stuff, but this is important if you find yourself being late to class a lot, or even if you just want to skip class for a day. In my school, we had this one security guard, and we're going to go ahead and call him Rick because the dude straight up looked like Rick Ross. Like, I'm not even joking around. He had the same beard, same shaved head and body. This dude even sounded like him too. Most kids just addressed him as Rick Ross, the security guard. Now, this security guard was huge. I remember the first time I saw him, he was arguing with a kid. Most of you are going to think I'm exaggerating on what he did, but I'm telling you the truth, I promise. I'm not too sure what the kid did, but it must have been pretty bad because Rick was like, "You need to get your things right now and come to the office." And the kid was like, "No, you can't make me." I could just see the anger in Rick's eyes and was like, "I'm not going to tell you again. You're coming to the office right now." And this kid had the audacity to say, "I ain't listening to no." At that point right there, the Lord Jesus Christ himself came down and said, "Dude, I can't even save you on that one." I swear to you, Rick literally grabbed him and picked him up with one hand and took him to the office himself. Rick don't play no games. That was the first time I saw him, and I was terrified of him. The next day I was waiting to get picked up and he walks up to me, and I'm freaking out because I don't know this guy. And the thing I found out about him is that Rick is actually a really friendly dude, and I got along with him very well. I actually got along with him so well that sometimes I would just roam the hallways without a pass, and he'd be like, "Kevin, what are you doing out of class without a pass? Get your butt to class." One time I was even in the parking lot during class hours, and he caught me, and he just told me to get to class. Usually he would give you detention or something for something like that. I'm telling you, he was chill with me. But still, be friends with the security guard. It could save you from getting detention, you know. Tip number 3. Learn to avoid people. More specifically, how to avoid the dangerous people. I'm going to tell you the 3 most dangerous people in high school right now. The first one, the involved kids. What I mean by that is the kids who are like in student government and yearbook and all that good stuff. We're going to get into more of that later. The second one, the drama kids. And the third, well, that's just pretty straightforward. Most people think it's the jocks they gotta avoid, but now here's the thing. Jocks are just straight up terrible people, and there's no changing that. And they may be rude to you, but they're mean to everyone. So 9 times out of 10, it just ain't personal. I'm not saying you shouldn't avoid them, I'm just saying that they're not the most dangerous. However, these other type of kids, that's not the case, and I'll explain. The involved kids who are like in student government and in yearbook and all that good stuff, the reason you want to avoid them is because if you get on their bad side, you're screwed. The student government kids have a huge influence in school with teachers and staff, and if they don't like you, then the teachers who like them won't like you, and you don't want that. The kids in yearbook, if you got a problem with them, you might as well not even buy a yearbook, because then you'll just end up throwing it away. I was actually friends with some of the people in these fields, and I didn't really have a problem with them. And if you're into these fields, I'm not saying that all of you guys are bad people, I'm just saying you guys have too much power. Now going on to the drama kids, besides the jocks, the drama kids are probably the most popular kids in school. You know, mostly because they're talented, and they're very sensitive. So if you get on their bad side, rumors about you will spread the next hour. And then you got actual drama. Now for the last type of person to avoid, well, I mean, that's just kind of a given. The only way to ever really avoid them is to stay at home when it goes down. So if you ever think he's gonna pop, just make up something and go to the nurse or something. Say you got the runs, go home, you know, just get out of there. Well guys, those are my 3 tips for high school survival. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and go ahead, like, comment, or subscribe, or do whatever you want to do. Thanks for watching.